I'm very glad that we're all here together. No. So we got together in numerous times in the previous year, and we here again, getting together, and it's all here to, get together in a very joyful and a delighted state of mind, and so this is because as all of the fact that in the last year when we parted, when we separated, so we were all in a very delighted state of mind. So that's why when we meet again, we have the same very joyful and delightful state of mind.
Yeah, that thing I know, I take driving on a person who is very gawachire. Take on some that. Mother Mountain road and road, fancy gawache, driving on it down to the catch was here. Fancy driving on the same road, never on the channel, what's it to the gun, the wood. Any children, some to the chamber. 가제 머니 뭐가이 원이 파티 셰 지마체 뒤에 뭐가 가는 거래 이제 될 손도 또 쳔버진 도와지
So if we give a bit of thought on the benefit of having a very harmonious and a very the positive relationship with the other peoples, and so there's we can understand what difference that make to our life. So the just as we seen it is the important that we in our life whoever we are accompanied with, we are living together, and so to having a very positive relations and a very enjoying each other companions, and really there's a intimate love and this the some sort of joy in being with that person is very important, because it is the fact that how we do the living together or having someone in our life it is something very important for all of us. So therefore in order to be that things to be very meaningful and very joyful, so we have to maintain a good relation with others. So on the other hand, how if we do not have that the joyful and a very loving relationship with the people that we live with or we are close with, then how then our whole life experience becomes very very unhappy one, very negatives.
Yeah, that's something. That's something there, you know. That one the fence GG 가봐서 GG 예보도 하는 것도 개체 것이 뭐지? 내가 그거 언제죠? 뭐 간가 그거야. 걔들 저 말을 가가냐 말. 펜치는 로안에 가봐지 GG 가봐지 와도 다 진짜 지금다. 내가 그거는 맞아 그거야. 때문에가 무슨 놈이 돼? 펜스는 가시 씹어 용하대. 나 만져 오지. 미 빠져와 내신. Mal Gajiga Recha, May Diasa, Tinishi Recha, Pensi Gabo Chen, and Samashiba, May Dias, then May Dias and Kaka. So I tell you, I think answer Gaga and Anukam Guya.
And there's no quotient that or we have to check with other people whether whether do we how important, whether do we need a good friends in our life or not. Then there's no doubt it is most people would answer, would feel that yes, they do depends on having some good friends. And and not only that, if we will also see that in generally speaking, so a lot of what we call as the happiness that we seek in our life, the joy that we seek in our life. So to great extent, it also depends upon our relationship with those people who are around us, and that is when we talk of happiness that we seek. So sometimes it can get into become a very complicated, very abstract topic. But on the other hand, what it means, there's a good happiness when you enjoy a harmonious and a very delightful relationship with the people who are around. So that naturally there's a happiness as a human being. And also when we look into as a human being, we also do have some sort of potential to be able to create that the good relationship with other people. We have that unique potential to as a human being to create that as well. So so therefore we can understand this important of maintaining and also have to give a thought on what we have to do to maintain such a harmonious relationship with others.
That sounds good. That today na take good na that thing ganna ta kare na mother jab kane jal matika mani mother ko ya. That nes ganna na je kare de na son pe to ya. Jal de legend never ade. Jal machin never sai ma de mother phase da ko cha se de ngali kali mani. 매그만 통 대상은 이제 너희들 가서 관계하고 거기네. 나한테 제가를 손대도 가지를 만들 때 니다와게 내가 대마 서선 내비 내가 내비 뒤가 너봐라. 제가 터제가를 가지 가를 되니만 손도지 개점을 와 터제 저도 가지세 니다와게 먼저 가래 예나는 터제는 가지 예영화데 일단 손을지 다 되는 도고 다 가래 요데서 얘네 저도 손도는 야고야 돼다.
So we need to be clear about what we seek and what we want in our life, and once that is very clear in our mind, then the next thing is to understand that in order to achieve that thing that we want, then we have to create causes and the right causes and conditions, and we have to understand that the things are things that we seek in our life, that these are all depending upon causes and conditions, and so therefore because if the causes and conditions are all met, then it is like as a cause of nature. Then the result will happen, and so therefore when if we talk about improving one's relationships and so forth, then we have to think on the causes and conditions. So which I also say, so we have to, in order to achieve whatever we want to achieve, then we have to look into the what are those things which are suitable, which we can recognize as something favorable or suitable conditions. So we have to recognize those, and have to creating that. And then on the other hand, to recognize what are the obstacles or the hindrances that which kind of prevent us from achieving what we want to achieve. And then we have to prepare ourselves to challenges those obstacles and overcoming those.
다 들으다 봐 손도 되게 다르다 손도 되게 간다고 싫어 뱉지 소소 싫어 좀 뱉지 싫어 좀 되게 근데 샤는 좀 가르래 저 가르 제 가르 가제 가르 다 싫어 제요 다 싫어 제가 일단은 싫어 게 로데 제요 나 걔는 내가 손을 제도 대대 라 내내다 소도 봐 만도 싫어 좀 쉬워 더 배치 제도 되니 임그래 다 손 대도 다 손을 대도래 다 니 도주 사람 시도 다 도주 사람 니반 도주 손 도나 현재 제지 가보체 내내 파세 요한 로를 셔버제 가보 요한 가를 두고서 마 손도 니 세도 무슨 마 손도 가를 세나 새 정보 제가 가르에 있으나 새 정보는 만도 펜슬 따도 정보 지용아 새 정보만 펜슬 따도 정보 용어 뭐야 펜슬 롤이 씹어 용어 펜슬 따도 정보를 들고 따도 가야 나 정말 제제 펜슬 나 많이는 다새 정보를 주세요 나 펜슬이야 셔터제 가든 정나요 펜슬이 시시 가시 좋아도 연습도 가리 거래 명만 본 거야. 나 니 통과야. 니 따로야. 통과야. 이제 손 대도나 당에 세서 무슨 두래 다 대선 두가 니자 먼저 가가 세서 뭐다 개좀 쉬었는데 맞된 통과야 돼.
So the best is on as much as possible to make the use of our own like a discriminating wisdoms, which everyone has within ourselves, and trying to decide whether certain action is beneficial or harmful, or whether whatever you're doing is right or wrong. So through that discriminating wisdom, utilizing one's own wisdoms, and so in another word, to trying to recognize your strength, and the best guide is this discriminating wisdoms, within which we all have within ourselves, and so therefore, here, when we talk about the how to develop a very good friendship or something which is mutually beneficial, for oneself and for others, then. So when I think about this, what is the most important condition or most important factor for this, then I would see that most important factor is the good heart that which we need, we cultivate. We need to cultivate within ourselves. So because if we cultivate, or any other people cultivate this good heart within themselves, then as an effect of that, then naturally they will, or we will show a real, like care, sense of care, and a concern, for the need of other beings, other peoples, and so therefore, if we leave this good heart that which we need to cultivate within ourselves, if we leave that aside and then trying to take into account of all the other external conditions, even then, as far as I can see, that then, I can clearly see that they don't guarantee this your good human and good, intimate relations, faith, trust, relationship with other people. You can say even if you are successful in the gathering a good, a lot of wealth and possessions. This also there's no cannot be automatically be a cause for one to actually to bring people, close to you, or you become close to them. So therefore, I see this the most important factor for developing, the better relationship with others. So is the cultivating good heart within ourselves.
La says no more the news unit, they pay share that go on that thing under the ranted some tedula, need says no more the carriers and Yembe somebody, he says what's the ready. Yeah, pen is so much, then he says what's the ready.
And then also we also need to make sure that when we talk about the good heart, when we say even the word good heart, so we are going to ensure that it is not just empty like words from our mouth. So rather, it's important to really to recognize what is that good heart, and then not only that, furthermore, after recognizing that, then we need to make an effort to cultivate, to internalize, or to actualize that good within ourselves, and then to use that in our life. So therefore, if we ask what is that good heart, then we will find, or what I would define as good heart is the like altruistic, like a mental attitudes towards others, or in another word, a very helpful or a beneficial mental attitudes towards others. And then again, this let's say this altruistic, mental attitude, or this the loving mental attitudes towards others. Now, when we talk of that, what is that? Then we actually don't. It is not something that we have to, explore, or you got to find somewhere else. But in fact, it is already within us. If it's something that we already possess, we all possess within ourselves. So the the thing is, when we talk of something like good heart and something which is very beneficial, but however, if it's something that we have to, if we don't possess it now, and it's something we have to search and have to look for somewhere else, then there will be a bit of issues, difficulties to how to find that. But however, it is not the case, and it is something we can recognize is already within ourselves. No.
다 제가 가르쳐 나중에 가서 당연히 정말 이게 뭔게 뭔지와 소도 대신에 정말 이게 뭔게 뭔지와 다 제일 다 이제 되고 가르쳐 이제 되고 영화나 통이 콜라 무제 빌로지 kon 이제 야 매바진 통어래라 콜라 무제 빌로지 코 정말에 대만도 좋아 야 제주야래 그래 가시 가도 원기 대신 게지 좋아 랑에는 원기 셰게 체데 만년에 원기 셰데 그네 파미가 파마가 제지 버질라 제가 짜도 좀 원기 용도야 코 아셔다니 손도 그거면도야 그거다 파미지 내는 원기 셰입니다 별랑게 셰데 별라 들어도 내는 조마세도 춘추시래 되는 그걸 소도 보고래라 그걸 보고 칸롱도 그거 칸롱도 야고면도야 대 가르치는 맞아 가르치는 게 그거 라고 야 더봐 야 못하 봐도 가르치는 제일이야 좀비제기야 야만 콜 내봐지 칸이 콜로 팬도야 저는 근데 그게지 그래서 됐으니 안도 찌도 근데 이제 다 되네 가서 배트 다 대인만 안도 감이제라 해야 돼 대응 과정 아주 멋이는 다 배제제를 가르치는 거는 배제제를 예 등하는 통하나 된 거다 제거라 예 대의 공서는 내다 제거라 열애제를 되래 다 들리제다 다 손은 대토를 안도 대라 펜스 찌게 된제 다 따도 가제래서 라 소소 라바이나 소소 로데 코야 동아도 콜람 못되지 데 동아도 못하지 데 동아도 세자지 다코 뭐대알아가 코 대아도 지타지 데 타지 다 드니제나 다 가도 좀뭐 가르치고 가르쳐 따도도 간대져서 강아요로 콩보다지 년보 용도야 내 보래 코 대아 대사 있으 년보 용도야 다 시험받아 제일 가서 배서 따도 된대. 다 된대진다. 시험받는 이제 세대 얘는 둘은 가서지. 뭐제 놀 봐. 손 쳐대 개선. 그래서 시험받는 이제는 가서 무슨 손에서 다 손을 된대 또나 야 게 예배 손만 예준이 다 배제신 열어져도 돼. 다 되는 열어셔도 다 가려. 로바들 가세 배서. 대를 줘 좋아서 가려. 소소 모델을 가도 명아 코센다지 가도 대지 대야 코드 대가가 소소 조사 대를 조조지 마서거 다 들려야다 조들 이제 용거래 콘통아서 가고 용거래 사투년 사나이 가고 용거래 년대나 가고 용거래 너나 가고 용거래 냐나 가고 용거래 다 들려지다 그래 만다지가 다 진짜이 롱게 소마 좀보다 대응 안도다 펜스가다 대 당연 열애셔대 얘는 둘 연애 임보 나서 땡땡내신도 다좀 됐던 롱게
So, if we take into account of any living creatures, any living beings, any being with life, then there is no being which doesn't possess this the love and compassions, some degree of love and compassions. And so what is a love is a kind of sense of wanting the other being to have happiness, wishing them to have happiness. Whereas the compassion, what is compassion is something which we wishing other being to be to be free of sufferings, free of unwanted things. And so therefore we can see all the living beings, so they have this certain degree of I say certain degree because we can notice the more or the less of the certain degree of this love and compassion, but however, every being has like almost like the innately, from naturally have that they possess this degree of love and compassion within that. Something that if you look into the way even as a parent, how when you have children, how then your intimate feeling to that child arise. It just almost like effortless. It arises naturally, innately. And not only that, I say that even if you look at observe even a very tiny, like ants, which is running, and let's say the ants carrying eggs, and you can see how so carefully and how diligently that the ants carry that, trying to protect the eggs, and that's also the sign, it wouldn't even
take egg,
yeah,
no all in that one.
Yeah, wouldn't leave, wouldn't drop that egg, at any cost. So that is because of it's the inborn, like this love and some sort of compassion for the being, and so in this way, it's we have to imagine, we have to think that how what that mean when we have a love and compassion within us. So what does that mean? To us, the implication or the effect of this is to us is that if we have a love, then it should whenever we see any other being or like your friends or anyone who is deprived of such happiness and joy, and then you if you have the indication of your love is that then naturally you would feel, you will wish, and that hope, may they have the happiness. So likewise, if you see them in any undergoing any sufferings or any problems, then it will naturally, with the what we call as if you have a compassionate attitude, feeling towards them, then you cannot bear them to see them in suffering, and so you wish, or that may they be free from the suffering and the problems. So therefore, here we can see how if we have cultivated this a love and compassion for all the people we are living with, who are close to us, then what is our mental attitudes towards them. So which is it will be such that then our attitude will be such that we will be in fact we will take a good care of their if there's any need, and their well-being as well. We will be fully considering their well-beings and their needs, and so therefore it will be, we will be, if they get into any going through any hardship, if you see any difficulties, so we will be concerned. We will be do our best to help them, and at the same time, if they don't seems to be happy, we will do whatever it takes to extend, bring happiness in their life. So if this is a kind of attitude that we show to others, to those who are close to us, or vice versa, if someone who is showing these attitudes towards us, and then who are always there when you are in need of help, is always there to help you, and always trying to bring joy in your life, and trying to be always there to help one in a time of difficulties, then your attitudes then will be very positive, and from this you would naturally then will develop like a trust in your relationship with others, and not only that, then to have somebody like that in your life, then you can see what that means, what kind of joy that brings into your own life, whether you with such people, whether you going out together, or you just staying home, or resting, or even having a meal together. So everything to sharing with your life with someone who truly share love and compassion for one is a great source of joy for oneself.
펜베데 가제가 펜베데 펜만 내시게지와 펜베는 내가 내가 맞는 들어를 좀 남아 좀 와. 이래네 이게네. 아주 펜베는 내가 내게데 들어를 좀 봐. 들어이나 폐야부터 지하부 소식이야. 대만 동문이가. 그다 정반 이제 리동우야. 마라 정반 이제 녀석을 리동하는 거래. 그냥 대대 정반 이제 돈 녀니 리동이야. 뭐 가까이 말해. 다 손은 대돈에 아부다 내내래. 나한테는 따져서 해야 돼. 그러나 제대 두바제가 거기서 대고 가져서서 보고 사고 문제가. 가를 튀어 맞더니 내가 보고들 세워서 이제야. 그래서 뭐 거를 대고 가지고 보고 사고 문제가. 예다 보고도 뭐 사줄 정도 사는 제가 세 되는 소소 제고도 소고 세우고 줘. 그 가를 튀어 맞더니 따가 되는 내가 shomba nije jeno mana choro tene tado shomba nije jeno mana yete shivu shivu yenga sirende ngena lesedi la tsama ma deshi so yisa de ma de ngena ko da tsama ma de deshi so yisa da ngena de da son tene tona 야본 대화가 하여튼 실수를 먼저 som바서 보다 먼저 무슨 사람의 당에 리 지금 가서 좀 무슨 대신에는 무슨 시보 용과 무슨 시보 용이면 이 세종마를 하려면 맞게 세우야 맞게 네 나로 되게만 요요나지요 세베스 선발이라 무슨 시보 용은 무슨 야본 용은 쪼쪼도 소소 세종마서 라려한테 대소지 지야 당아 예리 관병을 지금 같이 요요자 전부 지팅을 같이 야래
So the how when we have the love and compassion for others, or if there are others who have that share the same feelings towards us, then then it becomes the relation becomes so intimate that you you would not forsake the relationship each other's. We not mentally actually distant or give up that persons. So you always wanted to be be with that persons. So therefore it is in generally speaking. So it is in our human nature that all the nature of all the living beings, that if someone who is showing love and compassion to you, and who is really protecting your interests, and who trying to help benefit one, then you would naturally you feel the same positive, you show the same positive attitudes towards that persons. And so it's very unlikely that you don't welcome that kind of somebody who's trying to being kind to one, being supporting one, is and in fact the great Lama Tsongkhapa said that one who a person who respond harm to someone who benefit you is even worse than animals. And so however, so normally it is not in our in the nature of human being or nature of any living being to harm someone who who you have you share a love and compassion. So I can observe how some animal which no matter how vicious that animal is, but it would not eat its own like a children's or offsprings, and even that animal is suffering from hunger, so, and it will not eat its own animals. It may eat other the animals, but not its own children. So again, the reason is because of its its care, its love and compassion for that, and how you even if something you're facing your own threat to your life, your survival, you will not harm that someone you love and you have intimate feelings. So therefore we can understand if we look at all the situation effects of the love and compassion on our life and on all the beings on this on the world, and then we can see that it will make sense when we say the greater perspective. Then we say like on the the happiness in the whole world is actually depends upon the love and compassion, like the promotion of the love and compassion. So we can understand that from the greater level, wider perspective, and also of course if we always say if you take into account of your own individual life, then again that is the which I can also I say that to people with a bit of my own experience, that that how the most important factor is a good heart and the love and compassion that we we cultivate and we develop within us towards others. So how this can be the most important. This can be the most important source of even the happiness and joy in one's own life.
That's on that. That they can another cage over there. Get our check. Monday. She almost say they want to come about the more children don't get it. Shabby tell you. 차비 제 용어야 대자다 따도 저를 전반 인제 해서 따도 자 저 컨디션을 들이 앞에 양에 되라고 그 손도 너 내가 해서 전반 이제 그치 따도 제가 전체질 이제 용어야 새 대본 용어 대손은 다刚먹어 저는 제대로 찍어 봐 펜스 제대로 제가刚먹어 가서 세터 되는 용어야 대다 저를 내가 손도 갈래 손도 또 때대 컨디션아 야보야 되니 갈래 손도 세터 때대 다시 다 손대 던져야
So just as everything like it takes time to grow, to make progress. So in same way that if we have to grow and this love and compassion within us, so it will also will take time. But but what is important is to first of all to understand or to recognize this, how the important is to bring the this true love and compassion within our relationship with others. Even when we talk of the relationship between like male and females, and how even though it may be started with some sort of the physical attraction to each others. So however, the later on, in order to if we have to make the relationship more meaningful, more really sustainable, then it's important to then try to bring this element of love and compassion in that, and particularly in the area where whenever we are trying to support each other and trying to taking care of each others. So we trying to ensuring that why we are doing this is because of the this you are making sure it is you have the true love and compassion for that. So so in this way, as the time pass, then we can find more. The love and compassion will slowly grow. Brings more love and compassion in that, and then there will be as a result, as a benefit. Then it is for the both sides. There's a mutual benefit for the both of you in terms of supporting and to each other's. No. Can you hear? So I'm moving a bit away from the speaker.
그 펜스 퀸지 온게 나도 펜도 용거 펜스 나지 용거 말 펜스 제지 퀸지 온게 펜스 제지 차비 온거 따도 용거 알 따도 용거야 근데 그 때문에야 그건 야는 가버서 그건 야는 돼 뒤에서는 펜스 제지 이치 뭐 괜찮으니 와래 저러 더 봐요 당연히 더 봐 세거라
So if when we look into this this whole the relationship and what what are the factors which keep the relation intact and also brings a benefit, a mutual benefit to each others. So we do have to acknowledge that sometimes even if there's this is all based on the truly based on like attractions to each other, more physical attraction to each others. So we have to acknowledge that because of that, there may be some sort of, as a result of that, you'll be benefiting or you'll be supporting to each others. So, so not totally, rejecting that. So, however, what we need to see is that when it is completely based on that, and somehow, even though there is some support, there's some sort of care to each others, but we can see that it is not that reliable. Somehow in that relationship, it is also very difficult to develop really a trust in that, and so it can be also relationships that based on that can be also very fragile as well. So that is what I mean. On the contrast, on the other hand, we know that when we talk about the other emotions, human emotions such as animosity or the anger, which of course is not going to bring people together, let alone benefiting each other. Okay, so but however, when we talk about the desires, more towards the attractions, physical attraction, they do bring together, and also as an effect of that, we will see some sort of seemingly care and support to each others, and so however, in order to be lasting and more sustainable, so that's what we're saying, we need to bring more element of love and compassion.
Yeah, right. That's one thing. That's sort of that why that in so much says Zumba, then Masuchi, and Jake, Tato Zumbo, you are yes, don't you? Somebody, and Tato Zumbo, yeah, last one. Zumbo, I'm not one child. One child, then there's Zumbo, take that, got it. Get got it, I'm not some to cheat there as well.
So in this discussion, so I am deliberately raising some points, of course, which you need to think more on this, and then in order to really to understand it. So the point that we're raising is how the desire or the attractions, the physical attractions. So how or like sensual desires. So how when we look into that, if we look into have a more close look at that, the desire, then right from the beginning, how or the main cause that desire is arise in us is because the individual who have produce desire, then who perceive that the objects to be of something very suitable, something which you really accord with your own view, with your own accord with your own view or your own mind, and it suits you, and that's the ground. On the ground of that, then you are attracted. You like that person, and then whatever you do to that person, even support and needs everything. So, and that's what I'm saying, because it's based on this the that such kind of the perceptions of the seeing other as being something desirable for oneself. So it's they are not that reliable. And whereas how when we look into the how we perceive the other person from the the eye of like the anger, then we see as something very conflict or with your own view, with your own self, and so therefore we don't there's no the wish to be close with that person, getting close to the persons. So so in this way, the on the other hand, so we we also talk about the cultivating in a good heart, and that we say is a real source of happiness and to for oneself, and also to cause or bring happiness to those who are around you, and to really to bring more develop trust and faith in one relationship with others. So we say that is a very important cause, and then the which, however, if we when we speak of good heart, then again if you see what is that good heart, then also we understand it's really more relating to this our a genuine a love and compassions, and which we defined that before, which is more directed towards others, in wanting to see them happiness, and to be not want to see them in sufferings, and so therefore now we also did if we wanted to cultivate and develop love and compassion, now we need to look into how we can do that. What are the hindrances or that things that which prevent us from this cultivating love and compassion. So we need to look into that. So the what really opposes or the destroys our this love and compassion for other beings. So is the really the hatred or the anger, or this animosity, feeling of animosities. So these are the main hindrance, main obstacles, and so therefore now to you have to think. Therefore, it's important to think. We have to think of how we're going to, how and why we need to prevent such the anger and hatred within us. So so first of all, how we go if we think on the disadvantages of having or generating anger or hatred within us. So such as how the moment this hatred or anger arises, then you lose all your peace and your own joy and happiness. So when you have that, you can't be happy, and also there is no there's no way that with that attitude that you will wish other to see happy. So rather it's opposite. You want them to harm them. It has this impulse to want to to cause harm, causing harm upon other beings. So therefore, it is when we talk of our own peace, our own happiness, and as well as the peace and happiness for all the our other beings. So we can see this anger, cultivating anger is something very very destructive, very destructive, that force. So therefore we can in overall. So therefore the main obstacles, the main hindrances, to which discourage us, which prevent us to cultivate and to maintain or to develop a positive state of mind, such as good heart, love, compassion, and so forth. So these are the main obstacle. And the opposite is what we call as the mental afflictions. So which is anger is one of those such mental afflictions, and likewise the like ill thoughts, or the harmful thought towards others, when that's also a form of such mental afflictions. And also you can have the pride, and as well as the such negative, all the negative thoughts, such as even to undermining or belittling others, or being very disrespectful to others. And so all this, when you think of, so this mental affliction, so is really the essentially is the main hindrances that we face to in our practice to develop the positive qualities within us, to bring up or in our personalities. So these are the main. Mental affliction is the main obstacle, and so therefore it's important to always to have this, always to try to remember that since the mental affliction, or the recognizing this mental affliction as the main source of all these troubles that one go through, and on the hindrances to all the to developing all these good qualities, the qualities in one's life, all the positive things that one wants to achieve. So therefore one should have strong motivations. Important to have a motivation to overcoming these mental afflictions, and trying to see even if we can at least to minimize this force of mental affliction and so forth. So for us, the questions now that we would to arise in us is now how am I going to stop all these mental afflictions to overpowering my mind, and because as long as because you can see that how as long as your mind and your whole if you are overpowered by these mental afflictions, then there is no escape, or there is no way to prevent the sufferings and the problems. So therefore you wanted, in a sense, that how instead of we have to think of how to, instead of once our minds being overpowered by the mental afflictions, or under the control of the mental afflictions, how you can be. You got to think of can I be controller, or can I overpower the mind? Be in another word, can I bring my mind under my own control? So this is where now when we think of this, when you decide, oh yes, I want to bring the mind under my own control. That's what I need to do. That's what I need to bring the mind under control, and in that way, you can overcome the influence of the mental afflictions. So when you think of this, then the next question is then how to now bring the mind under control. So this is where comes the meditation practice, the importance of the meditation practice, and in fact when we the approach, or when we take the meditations practice from all this perspective, on the base of all what we've been discussing before, and then see it as you follow meditation practice as a way to bringing mind under control, because you recognize that how all the sufferings arises because of the minds being overpowered by one's all these mental afflictions. So when we have this, and this clearly shows such recognition, and clearly shows that the understanding of the essential point of meditation practice.
It's a that is not God that got the share, running said. Ra no young on the road, judge told the chip done, and said no labo, never then gave me bachelor Thompson, caution, Jimaship, that is. That's a college jail. Condi was there, Yam Condi shoot, no. Then Yam woman Condi shoot, draw. Shoot, draw the death and mother, Lord, having one, they are, they Yonachi, and then you were it. Just tell him, I'm going to go out, some tenet, some death of the time, God gets him, she will never the other.
And the meditation practice is a kind of practice wherein we we overcome, we get rid of all the distractions, mental distractions, and then trying to place our mind fully on the desire, on the meditation objects, like making sure the 100% of all our mental attention is on that objects, and then so through this kind of discipline of meditation practice, then we are trying to habituating our mind with our virtuous objects, and because in this the practice, so as we can see, the mind is we are engaged in the mind in a practice where it is all the prevented from all the sort of mental distractions, which are the main source of such the afflictions, mental affliction to arise. So all these being prevented, such affliction are prevented. So therefore, it is as one get used to this meditation practice and see one apply this over a period of time, then one can then this is in a practice where you placed your mind on the virtuous objects, and getting used to getting your mind used to sit in that virtuous object. So as you do this, as one get used to this practice, having the mind, keeping the mind there for a longer period of time, and then you can then eventually notice the you can see the benefits in terms of how this enhances some sort of like the peace and happiness within yourself. So essentially, the meditation practice is really about achieving very higher state of concentrations, meditative concentrations, and so now there are also, in order to be to make progress in this meditation practice, again, so of course we need to know there are certain techniques, in terms of the first of all, to recognizing even in meditation practice, what are the obstacles you face, and then and how to remedy those. So that we need to, it's important to know those technique, as well as on the as well as to knowing what are the what kind of thing, how things, the favorable conditions, or the things that we need to be equipped ourselves with to make the practice go very smoothly. And so, such as, for example, such as even the kind of physical posture that which we adopt in meditation practice. So these can also have are considered as something favorable conditions. So so however, I think we nearly finished time today, so we may continue this on this the topic of these various meditation techniques, in the next time. So, however, if maybe there's one room for one question, if you have a question. No? Yes, Ross.
I think probably we're all very aware of what's happened in Christchurch.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of trying to work out from a Buddhist perspective how someone could take pleasure in killing people. How do we deal with understanding something like that as Buddhists? Because he was calm, relaxed, he was listening to music as he went to the venue to do the shooting, had everything organised. So it wasn't that he was in some chaotic trouble, or maybe trouble in another way, but he seemed to be calm and relaxed, very aware of what was happening, very observant, etc., etc. So we're dealing with a very different kind of mind to the one we've been talking about today. So what do we do with dealing with that?
The New Zealand 미망고식 세서 하다 말이야. New Zealand 거기 미디 생애디 다 그런 게다 당분에 처시 야보신 띵제로게. 띵 마세베 다 밖에 친이 그 미세가 두드서 봐. 코란 흘려 제다 지금 열어. 지 되게 지 ngang the dem 흘려진 데는 베네스테지 나가는 미망고식 다 매겨 미세버 레스로. 아니 다 낭배기 다존다 된대기 가르소를 된대기 신달을 너밖에 된대 가르치는 제임이다. 아니 나가는 신게 다 미망고식 다.
네. 나도 시작을 깔리 가면 봐. 뭐 머리에 선수는 나도 시작을 나는 메시는 시작을 깔리 가면 봐. 네.做考了좀 뭐제 별로 쉬운 거.
네.
나 대선 사용하고 또 그런 응원하고 그러면 요만이지만 뭐 야, 정말 매일이 대선나 실세다. 나 바이면 자이네 와서 누들의 바이면 자세 내는 로비칸네. 그 야부 쉬워를 상관없어. 뭐 중에는서 더 노지 가자를 가서 더 노지 가서 뭐제 뭐 가셔야 내 아픈 데서만 가자를 주고 뛰어가는 그게 야부 무엇이었어. 일단 내가 미망고식 다 누가 지소나라 디그라망고식 태지는 다 세면나 강에 망고 수디아레스 다 간솔라 셈소 칸데스탄 거레스 낭베션 그래서 메타발에 칠로 찬에서는 제자 그래야지 요 전 지대 찬은 매도나 괜히 지제면 대중이 세서래 얘들한테 얘를 자셔본다 칠로나 강가로 제가 나 그래야지 거를 세서제들 얘가 가요 세서셔야 거를 이마 쉬게 받고 나 가자 양의 맛이로 세마 맛이로 야 세서대 된체라 거기에 배워야 봐. 뭐 관계 거기 강아지 여자들 세마 가자 깨져야 보시 때제 자나 듣는 일에 배운다 거기서도 말 배워 다 듣는 일 말을 자고 많이 재미있네. 신기하네. 신기한 아이들 맞는 놈이 잘해요. 그걸 누가 잘하나? 하고 뭐 그걸 이제 그렇지.
So if the question is to relate with knowing what is in the mind of that, the perpetrator, the killer, then Geshe says he doesn't have anxiety. That's very difficult, to know to read someone's mind, someone's noise is very difficult. But generally, so I mean, but then still the whole society will know that there's a reason why the person did, and also we will know that person has some something that he cannot tolerate, or impatience towards some things, right? Some issues, and so like Geshe just said, basically it comes down to the lack of love, loving kindness, and compassion. And in fact, Geshe said, what was her name? The Prime Minister of New Zealand?
Jacinta?
Yeah, Jacinta, that's right, yeah. He said somebody they mentioned to Geshe that Jacinta gave a great talk to encourage people. He was emphasizing on the love and compassion. And so we need some more leader like that in the world. No. Yeah. Yeah.
All let us make nothing need that. You say that, controversies, I control that, Mumbai, Jashi, Mumbai, that is said, Mumbai, the level, take that, she has somebody, Betty, and movie dress. Come, men lose. Shira, she didn't men lose. I'm getting it right there.
So of course, the underneath cause can be hatred, and then hatred is basically backed up or supported by what we call as ignorance in Buddhist terms, but the opposite to ignorance is what we were talking before, which is the discriminating wisdoms. So that's what we we need that the true knowledge, true wisdoms of the what brings the peace and and the stability in the world. And then otherwise in terms of the it is a so this tragic this incident of might have caused a lot of sufferings, and a lot of people maybe going through mourning and really very make them feel very low spirit and very depressing, and so therefore one like a lot of doing depends on if you are a believer of certain religions, and we do in this kind of time. One thing we can do is to make prayers, pray for those for all the perpetrator and the others, and like which Geshe say he's been doing that, including the killer, he including the prayer for that. So something we have to do, and other than that, in the we have the custom of like offering, taking flowers. So which are all to good symbols, to really to brighten their mind up, because otherwise a lot of people are very, feeling very down, very depressed. So in general in life, when we go through such downsides of life, so it's good to go and as a part of healing, help the people to healing their pain and so on. So go and talk to the people, something more positive, and even sometimes it could be just having a tea together and just having a very casual talk. So all these little things can also to helps. Yeah.
그러지 대가 몸이 전 콜 오사니 뭐냐 손 근소나 다 키셔야면 되지 너무 셔야 아주 거 이제 이 따발 대체 나보셔라 따발이 라 진짜 아주 응애는 배고 로는 타르와도 소소이나 손으로 대도는 근저에 셔야도 고자기 잘로도 근저대 고자들 부샤도 한테 하고는 대도는 만든 내가 하고 있는 거랬어 현생님 룰 하나 컨트롤 아그 근저고 제시한데 아서는 소소나 셔는 고자고 근저 사면 돼요 근저 사는 다 근저 걸어 근저 사들 하셔야 이게네 대리 이게네 하고 아주 들리고 봐 손으로 도나 펜서 하고 빼야 해 하고 되냐
So there's also a passage in the Arya Devas, of the 400 stanzas, so where it says that the Buddha, recognized the afflictions, as the fall, as a true fall, but not the fall of the persons who possess it. And so from this passage, so we have to understand when that even some when somebody commit any such a negative actions, so we trying to see that these are the fault of the indication or the fault of this the afflicted state of that person's afflicted state of the mind, rather than blaming to or recognizing that person as the main cause of that that harmful actions. And so trying to it is very kind of this passage is very powerful in terms of overcoming our the bitter feeling, anger feeling towards others, who cause harm upon us, like even if there's someone that and who who done something harmful to inflict harm on you. So if you're trying to separate that person's the action of that harmful or the negative action of that person from that person himself or herself, and that even that helps one to overcome or to prevent such a hatred. And so rather to see, indeed, if we look into the true cause of that, why that person commits such a harmful actions, then the true cause is the force of the negative or the afflicted state of mind, behind that actions, which led that person, which forced that person to commit that action. So there is really, if you have to cultivate, if you feel bad or feel cultivate anger or hatred, then it should be directed towards the hatred or the anger within that person's. Okay, so before we finish, so we will do just a very short breathing meditations. So we'll start with just completely relaxing your body, and then just let go of all the distracting thoughts, wandering thoughts, and let the mind just completely the stays or remain inside or within yourself, and then So we begin the meditation then by just directing or placing the mind just on the incoming and outgoing breath. We say you have to place there single-pointedly on that incoming and outgoing breath. So it means that just to let the mind just remain there and not be letting it to go off from that objects.